Well, good afternoon and welcome to Loughborough University. My name's Gaynor Nash and my partner in crime commentating on this bronze medal game here this afternoon in the EuroHockey Club Champions Trophy is Joe Mould, former Olympian and former president of Leicester Hockey Club. Joe, exciting atmosphere and some lovely sunshine.
Indeed, I mean we've been here for however many days now and this is their fourth game in 4 days, and mostly both the Spanish team and the Irish team have been treated to some wonderful sunshine, apart from yesterday afternoon when the Spanish got absolutely drenched. But it's great to see crowds starting to arrive, and it's great to see the teams lining up already.
Yeah, and for those of you who perhaps haven't been listening up till to date, the Irish team from Dublin is Loreto, and the Spanish team from Madrid is Complutense. This should be a really competitive match.
Definitely. We've seen both teams play quite a lot. The Irish team in the white shirts, Loreto, they've played really well. Unfortunately, they were on the wrong side of the defeat by the Russian side, Ismailova, yesterday. And the Spanish team, having lost to Leicester, had no chance of being in the gold medal game and succumbed to a draw in the final game of the day yesterday. But two very different styles of hockey are going to be on the show today, and I think that could make for quite an exciting game.
So the Irish with their more methodical build-up, almost formulaic, against the Spanish flair, yes?
Indeed, I think the Irish will look to transfer the ball around the back. They'll be looking to move the Spanish press around. The Complutense side are quite unpredictable. They've got some pretty nippy, fast forwards who could cause enormous problems for the defence. But it'd be interesting how they manage to counter each other as the course of the game goes on. And as so often in sport, the first goal could be crucial. Yeah.
Well, I'm going to quickly run you through the teams starting this match, the starting lineup for each team. For Loreto, in goal, it's Louisa Healy. And then number 2 is Alison Meek, Ali Meek, Irish international. Number 3, the redhead, is Aisling Campion. Number 5, right back, is Sinead McGurr. Also in defence, Rachel Keegan. Irish international attacker, Niamh Small, wears number 13. Number 15, Sarah Clark at the back. Nifty little forward, number 16, Hayley Mulcahy. Really perhaps my Irish player of this tournament, Hannah Matthews, captain, who's the pivot player, the fulcrum at central midfield. Kira Vincent, number 18, and Katrina Tipping, number 19. Very, very quickly going to take you through the Spanish team. In goal, Ines Arias. Maria Viton-Thans is number 5. Maria Sarabay Rus is number 7. Lucia Jimenez, one of the young players, feisty young players in the Spanish team, is number 8. Stelia Sanchez Valverde is number 9. Captain Cristina Gonzalez, 10. Maria Parral, busy little midfielder, is 11. Begoña Garcia, one of the youngsters as well, just 19 years of age, is number 19. Lola Riera, Spanish international player, full international player, she's on the ball right now, and this could well be aerialed. Yeah, that's her pattern. She is number 20. Estefania Pires is number 22, and Silvia Perez is number 23. And already it's Loreto on the attack, Joe.
Well, they started the game as they started it in the last couple, with an aerial ball deep into the territory of the Spanish team. They tried to counter but were penalised for their return aerial. And great to see intent. They're not sitting back, they're not waiting, they're going to go for goal. The other interesting thing, probably only to me though, is the pitch looks bouncy again today. I know it's rained here, but it's been sunny, and it looks as though the bouncing ball could create a few problems.
Well, we did have absolutely torrential rain again this morning for the first match of the day. Obviously, it has brightened up. We've had sunshine for pretty much the rest of the time, and yeah, you're right. You're already seeing some bounce in this pitch. There's Sinead McGurr on the ball. She's looking down the line for Ali Meek, and Ali Meek wins that one. A strong challenge coming in on Ali Meek. Sinead McGurr looks to go back, changes her mind, and again it's Loreto ball on the sideline. Here goes Meek. And Spanish side bring it away. Good challenge there by Hayley Mulcahy.
For anybody who's not watched any of this live stream previously or don't really know the tournament, basically this is the 4th game in 4 days. Both of these teams finished second in their respective groups to fight a middle game. Probably the Spanish team will be disappointed to be in this game. They might have wanted to be in a in the gold medal match, but Loreto probably would be happy to come away with a bronze medal should that be the case.
Yeah, Complutense were good against Leicester, weren't they? They lost the game 2-1, but probably finished it the stronger, Joe.
Probably, and it could have gone either way. I mean, that's the beauty of sport, isn't it? It was difficult to pin the winner until the final whistle went, but neither team will want to finish this tournament on a loss.
So it's the Irish still with the ascendancy, pressing hard. And Lola Riera is on it. She wants to aerial again. That looks like it's gone pretty much straight off the side.
She was indicating 5 metres again there.
Right.
Well, it's the first pressure really we've seen from the Spanish team. They are trying to close down, aren't they, and press. Sometimes they choose to do a half-court press, sometimes they choose to be a bit more proactive, and certainly that's what they've started
Hannah
by
Matthews
doing.
steps up. She's looking for Kira Vincent. Ali Meek takes over.
She's been solid, hasn't she? She's been steady.
Yeah.
She's worked really well.
Paral in trouble. She didn't realise what was going on there, and ball swept wide. Neve Small chasing it, but without success. It's back with the Irish. They're going back through midfield, looking at for Ali Meek's looking right. Yeah, she's got an offer from Hannah Matthews, more close, and bit of a stumble there. This is Riera. Riera played Spain very recently in the Champions Challenge up in Glasgow, where she's voted as one of the most valuable players of the tournament. No great surprise there. She's looked pretty good, hasn't she? The number 20.
She has. I mean, perhaps we should explain that the Champions Challenge is for the second best 8 teams
in the world,
which is fantastic. Spain not quite up there at the minute in the top 8, and perhaps indicative of that is the fact that this team here is playing in perhaps the B League of European hockey. This is, couldn't it, the Champions Trophy of hockey?
Yeah, some people are sort of saying that whereas there's the Champions League in football, this is perhaps the equivalent to the Europa League.
Yeah.
But it's still a very good competition, very high standard of competition, and everybody here, especially the host side, Leicester, wants to take away the gold medal from it.
Definitely, and the other good thing is not everybody's going to become an international player, so what a great competition to play in, travel abroad to represent their club and their nation in a tournament like this.
Yeah, and because of the timing of this particular tournament, one or two of the teams haven't been able to bring all of their best players.
No, it's unfortunate that it clashes with the World Cup out in Holland, so anybody who is an international player playing for a team out there.
And that's fired in, but nobody gets on the end of it.
Anybody who's got a team out there, they're not allowed to field their top players, which in some ways does potentially dumb down the quality of the hockey, but it does mean that other people get an opportunity to do so, and we've seen some great stepping up by players in the Antwerp team, for example, and indeed in the Leicester team.
Yeah, the Leicester team has got several players who perhaps wouldn't have expected to be in this competition just yet, especially 3 youngsters in the England under-18 side who are playing. So as well as Lola Riera in the Spanish team, who's very dangerous, isn't she, from penalty corners, which other players in the Spanish team have impressed you?
Well, you know, there've been some good players all round, haven't there? And perhaps it would be difficult to stand anybody out. As you said, Riera has been a standout player. Keeper's not been overly challenged yet.
No,
so
she hasn't.
Interesting to see if Loreto can put intense pressure on her, how she copes with that. Perhaps the greatest pressure that was in the Leicester game.
Yes, but I think both of those 2 games that were scored in the Leicester game, I don't think she had an awful lot of chance with either of those 2 goals.
No.
If you watch that game, you'll know they were both goals from penalty corners. The first, a great deflection from in front of the keeper by Joe Hunter, and the second, Ali Meek on the ball here now. Good effort by Meek to win that one. She goes back to her captain, Hannah Matthews. And Yeah, the second penalty corner goal for Leicester in that match came from Vanessa Hawkins, their captain. Here's Ali Meek again on the ball. And a little touch from Begonia Garcia, who's a relatively young player in the Spanish side, but yesterday lost her temper a little bit, didn't she? Got
Well, I think feisty would be a good adjective to use yesterday for the players and for the bench. They were frustrated. They were 2-0 down at one point, 2 goals down to an Antwerp team that really had looked poor throughout the rest of the tournament.
Yeah.
So to be only on the verge of a draw without being able to do anything else did cause some frustration. Fortunately for them, it made little difference to their standing.
And interestingly, Royal Antwerp continued that improvement in the matches today, and they secured 7th place, beating Smolovici 6-0.
Amazing.
Did you think they've got 6 goals in them?
Well, I didn't think they got 3 in them yesterday. That's a fantastic result. So that means that Smolovici finished in 8th place, Antwerp in 7th, and then in the 5th-6th playoff, the second team from Russia, Metrostroy, beat the Ukrainian side, Sunchenka. I bet that was quite feisty.
To be honest with you, given the politics, it was a really friendly game, played in the very best of spirits. Good handshakes between the players afterwards, and Russia beat Ukraine on that one. Perhaps they've done.
Well, I've got to be honest though, the Ukrainian side had looked good, hadn't they? They'd scored a hatful of goals in the lead-up.
They looked okay today. But it was Metrostroy that carried the threat. You weren't here this morning, obviously, had to work and all that. But I think you'd have found the Smolovici defending as incongruous and unbelievable as it was yesterday. That's a really good attack, and that's Heidi Mulcahy who wins the free there. But yeah, they basically didn't defend, and they
didn't yesterday.
They left whether it was Shirai or Misiuskaya, they left them on their own basically, usually against two Royal Antwerp attackers. So Sinead McGurr on the ball. And that's a good challenge by Peral, but McGurr's still there. The umpire doesn't like that. She thinks it's a bit of a stick tackle. And we've got 2 balls on the pitch.
So we're 10 minutes in.
Yep.
Certainly, Russia have had the best of it. But I suspect they're looking for either a goal-scoring chance or a penalty corner. I haven't seen either one yet, have we?
No. And that one, as that ball came across, Katrina Tipping went for it and just tipped off her foot. Tipped off her toes, yeah. And Riera again goes aerial. You'll have seen Ali Meek waving at that one. At this level of competition, you can lift your stick above your head. What I play on a Saturday standard of my hockey, you wouldn't be allowed to do that. People still do it, sometimes because they don't know they're not allowed to do it. But in this level of hockey, you're allowed to do it. I must say, it puts the wind up me a little bit.
Well, we've seen a lot of use of the aerial ball by quite a few of the teams in this competition, and therefore a lot of waving of sticks above head. Some have managed to take the ball cleanly and safely. Sometimes it's been a clash of sticks, more lacrosse style than hockey style. But it's a great skill if you can do it.
Yep.
You've got the skill to bring it down safely.
Yeah.
What a great weapon to have in your armoury.
Well, there was a fantastic goal scored just before half-time in the England men's match yesterday against Australia. Wasn't good to watch because it was the 4th goal that Australia scored against England, and basically it was lifted into the D, and as it came...
From about the halfway line, I think, wasn't it?
Came over the last defender's head. It was battered in by Govers, and people were saying it was one of the very best goals in European hockey, in world hockey, sorry. Bit of a debate about the quality of the ball at the minute, I think. Is that right?
I think the Spanish coach was asking, or the technical delegate was asking if they're all match standard quality balls, but inevitably, I think they've played all weekend with them, or playing all for 3 days already with them. Some of them are going to lose their branding and perhaps be a little more rugged than they were at the start.
So the Spanish plate around at the back, trying to draw the 3/4 press from Loreto onto them. Loreto made a couple of changes. They've got Cathy McKean up front, taking the place of Niamh Small.
key for this is, if you're going to play a press like that, that's exactly what they've done. They've been patient,
Yeah.
and then they've managed to pass the ball beyond the first line of the press, and it's given them a fairly incisive attack. It didn't come to anything, but that could have been dangerous. We've seen far too often in this tournament people give the ball away needlessly and actually play it into the press.
Yep.
But they played that really well.
Sarah O'Loughlin tracking back with Lorenzo. Lorenzo puts it off. So neither side really managing to achieve domination yet in this game, Joe?
No, it's a bit cat and mouse. There's a lot of play in the middle of the park, but not much at either end. And obviously you can have all the possession you like, but if you don't score, it doesn't count for anything.
It's Kathy McKean shielding the ball well there. Aisling Campion on it now, looking out here to Sinead McGurr. Lorenzo tracking back, doing well. Out to Ali Meek. Meek crossing it, and what's the umpire's giving a corner there, saying that Sarah O'Loughlin got just ahead of her player and it was touched off a Spanish stick.
Yeah, because the ball's not gone off the pitch deliberately, it's not a penalty corner, it's a long corner. And indeed now it's a free hit on the pitch.
Ooh, that's caught a Spanish number 22. I thought it caught a square in the middle of the back. Did it? I think it did. She's waving a hand, but I think that's waving a hand in pain more than anything else.
I think she's perhaps asking for help. I think it caught her either on the back or on the ribs, but it was not a very nice sound of ball hitting flesh, was it?
Estefania Pires is the player who's down. Physio comes to have a little look. The casualty music's playing. I don't know whether in Spain they take casualty on their main channel. Bit cruel, that, isn't it?
I actually think for the crowd it's quite entertaining. I don't think there's any malicious intent behind it, but it does become a talking point.
When I was commentating this morning, you know the sound of the heartbeat they do for penalty corners? I described it as heartbeat music, and then I had to correct myself just in case anybody thought that was from the 60s crime programme.
Only people of your generation might have watched that.
Oh, hang on, it was about the 60s. It wasn't made in the 60s. Although I do accept the point, really. So over to Zoe Ennis, and she's past Lorenzo, but not past the Spanish number 3, who's not been on the pitch much, has she? That's Sara Madrid.
No, and do you know what? There's pros and cons of not being on the pitch in this tournament so far. Firstly, she'll have fresh legs, so that's a positive. But the downside is that she won't have had any touch on the ball, won't have had the chance to experience playing in this heat, in this sort of competition. So she could do really well and run around lots and lots, or she could just struggle to be up with the pace.
And the injured player, Sylvia Pires, is coming past us now and seems to be
under her
holding
armpit.
ribs.
Under her armpit.
Ribs under her armpit, yeah.
So, yeah. She looks.
And it did look like a sharp blow, didn't it?
It did, and I think it's a noise as much as anything.
Yeah,
it was
that
disconcerting.
dull thud, wasn't it? And here goes Lucia Vicente, and that goes right across the face of goal. And Lorenzo in particular was making a go for that, but unsuccessfully.
Well, good tight marking there by the Loreto defence, but that's the most incisive play we've seen from the Spanish team so far, and that probably could have been a goal-scoring chance.
Certainly could. Already beginning to see, as people come off the pitch with these rolling substitutes that you're allowed these days, that they're actually quite happy to do so. A couple of people looking quite tired already. 10 minutes, what are we? 15 minutes in.
If anybody's been watching previously, I've talked a lot about the 3 games or 4 games in 4 days, and I don't think we can underestimate physically how much this will take out of them. No. We are not talking about professional athletes here. Hockey's still an amateur game. These people are either all students or work for a living. They don't get the chance to train full time, and in terms of their cardiovascular and fitness and their endurance, it's hard.
It's asking an awful lot. Yeah, you're right. Well, that's a great ball. Kathy McKean's on that ball. But she's given the chance to Sara Madrid. Sara does well. The Irish think it was theirs, they were wrong. Spanish coach optimistically asking for a yellow card there.
It would be a bit early and out of the spirit of the game so far.
And You have to sometimes just accept that things are done in error rather than deliberately. That's hit forward quite hard by Celia Sanchez Valverde.
Good pronunciation.
Oh, I don't know about that.
I mean, the Irish team came out of defence there, and it was great that they got players, but the Spanish team were marking very tightly, and they need to perhaps think about playing the ball more into space, making some wider lead runs.
We've got somebody else down. This is Lorenzo who's down. Oh no, it's not Lorenzo who's down. This is number 23, Silvia Perez.
And she's
hobbling. And she's grimacing in pain. So a long ball up there. Hayley Mulcahy shows some interest. But, no, sorry, Sarah O'Loughlin shows some interest, but unable to get hold of that ball. So both teams ringing some changes. We've got Zoe Ennis on the field for the Irish. Niamh Small is back on. And for the Spanish, they've a couple of enforced changes, obviously, with these injuries.
Well, hopefully both will just be trivial and get some ice on it. And see, interesting, we've talked a lot in the last 3 days about the interpretation of the lifted ball.
Yeah.
From the angle we were at, that looked like it could have been dangerous.
Very dangerous. That looked like
but
it was
the umpire
giving the player a new centre parting.
Well, the umpire suggested with her hand signal that either she wasn't sure and was looking at other umpire, or she was happy for it to go. Sometimes players are very good at making things look a little bit more dangerous than they might be.
Yeah. But this is a bit of pressure now from Complutense on the Irish.
We just haven't seen any sustained pressure from them. A couple of decent attacks here and there, but they need to put together a string. Really.
Spanish coach frustrated there. Doesn't agree with the umpire's verdict. It's this umpire on this side that seems to be attracting his ire in particular. Pires with a big ice pack on those ribs at the moment, and it's gone Complutense way. Good strong challenge from Hannah Matthews, but not a good strong challenge, a bad strong challenge. It's given us a foul there. So brought out to this dotted line. You can be fouled right on the edge of the D, but you have to bring it back, don't you?
Bring it back to 5 metres, and the other rule means that any infringement inside the attacking 23, which results in a free hit like this, means the ball has to travel.
Yeah.
Has to travel 5 metres before it can be put into the circle. And what we saw there was the Spanish played it back 5 metres, and it was hit from outside 23 straight in.
And created an opportunity, didn't it?
Good deflection.
And Louisa Healy did well.
Yeah. Sometimes a lifted ball or lifted shot looks spectacular, but actually that was fairly easy for the keeper.
Yeah. And the Irish finding it difficult to break out at the moment. That's Riera again. Oh, that was a good save from Louisa Healy, wasn't it?
That was a good save because the deflection happened much closer into her.
Yeah.
And it was going much higher into the roof of the net. And she doesn't look the tallest goalie that I've ever seen, although she got a glove to that and managed to turn it behind for a long corner.
I'm actually wondering if that is Louisa Healy, because that looks a little bit like the keeper that came on in the second half yesterday, Ruth Murphy. But
she's got
number one on, which is the number Louisa Healy.
I think she's just got a different shirt on.
Yeah, perhaps it's that different shirt that just makes her look a little different.
I think it's because, did she wear a red shirt yesterday?
Ah, she did, you're right.
And obviously the Spanish are in red.
Yeah. And there's Paral. Spanish coach doesn't like that. He thinks somebody's a bit too close to the action.
She's allowed them the advantage because they've got the ball.
And that's Lucia Vicente. Who's on the ball there now? Gonzalez, the captain. And that looks like it's being tidied up. Yeah, being tidied up a little bit. There's some words. And it looks like somebody's going to have a little breather for a little while. Yeah, it's Aisling Campion. She saw that foul. She allowed play on. Maybe the goalkeeper will be satisfied with that.
Yeah, it was good umpiring because they still had the ball, and while they've got the ball, play the advantage. It's the first time, again, that we've heard the Loreto crowd. And great that some of them are still here, even though it is a Monday. And they have the potential to make a big difference to raising the morale of the Irish team, particularly at stages in the game where they're going to feel and start to look a little weary.
Katrina Tipping can't do anything with that one. So there's Carly Baker near the ball, but it's with the Spanish. And oh, something's happened there. Lola Riera is down, possibly the best of the Spanish players. Casualty music plays again.
Did you see what happened there? Did she get a stick?
I don't know whether she got a stick in the solar plexus or whatever, but she went down as if winded, didn't she?
She did, yeah.
But she's back up. She looks fine. Perhaps she made a slight meal of it. A little bit of paella of it, just to draw the umpire's attention to the fact that she'd been fouled. Hannah Matthews there. She has impressed us throughout this tournament. The Irish captain.
She's been really solid. You called her a fulcrum earlier, but her ability to transfer the ball has been magnificent. But also, she's been a real workhorse. She's done the legwork getting up, but also the more difficult stuff in getting back to help defend. She's been instrumental in their playmaking, hasn't she?
Certainly has, yeah. She's that's Katrina Tipping trying to force her way through. Here comes Paral. She's a busy player. That's across. Louisa Healy gets there. And Paral wins it back. And she gets the penalty corner.
Well, I suspect that will be their number one aim. Not necessarily to get a shot, although they've had two fairly quick succession recently, but their set pieces are quite good.
Yeah. And they'll be glad that that minor injury to Riera has cleared up, because she is the danger woman at this set piece.
And they've shown some variety. They've got ability to drag flick. They've also got an ability to work the ball around. Variation means that it'll be difficult for the Irish to pick out what they're going to do and defend it appropriately.
So let's see what happens here. Complutense penalty corner. The trap by Lucia. Oh, that went. Oh, and Paral has just missed. That was very interesting, because the Louisa Healy stopped the ball, but it went behind her, didn't it?
It looked like
it didn't go over the line.
No, it looked like it spun back from her pads.
Yeah.
It's hard to tell here. I thought she'd made a good save and it was going forwards, but it was spinning backwards and it was saved off the line. Bit of a melee, but fortunately for the Irish, scoreboard still says 0-0.
Certainly does. So this is Sarah Clark on the ball, looking for Ali Meek. Ali Meek made a great start to the game, been quiet for a while, hasn't she?
She has, but I think partly that's because they've just been defending.
Sinead McGurr, she finds Sarah Loughlin, who tries to get the ball across, and Pires is in the wars again. That one's hit her on the foot. Back on after her rib injury, but just taking a little bang on the foot there. Ali Meek, tackled by Riera.
Do you know,
They've clashed in the Champions Challenge recently, because Ali Meek is an Irish international, and that's Aisling Campion having a bit of a swipe at it, and that's Paral down this time, isn't it?
Yeah. The Irish team need to try and have some variety. All they've done so far is trying to attack down the right-hand side.
And then wallop it across.
Or try and put it in, but the Spanish team in red are overloading that area and not allowing them any way through.
But an unforced error there from Lola Riera. And here's Neve Small. She was pretty nippy yesterday. Haven't really seen much from her today. She's surrounded. Having a go. They have to give her 5.
But she's got space to run out.
Yeah. Here they go again. Here's Sinead McGurr. She can't give it to Neve Small because she's too close to her. They've got to be 5 metres away at that point. Here's McGurr. McGurr to Small. Small whacks it across. And oh dear, that's hit Paral on the hand. And I think the umpires are going to have to step in here, because a couple of these hits from the Irish have been, well, in all honesty, they've been a little wild, haven't they?
Yeah, they have. I mean, the great thing about playing on a water-based pitch is that it's true and it's quick when the pitch is watered, but it's unforgiving. So if you're technically, or if you don't catch it right, even if you are technically good, it will mean the ball rises into the air. And there, she's just too upright, wasn't low enough. When she made the connection, the stick followed through, sent the ball up into the air. But the one thing it is going to do, it's going to make the Spanish wary every time they lift their stick to hit it.
It certainly is.
I know the Irish have had no intention of doing that, but that is going to be a byproduct.
It certainly is. And Paral has had to go off. She's in tears.
Yeah, but that looked nasty.
It's hit her on the back of the hand. All those little bones, you know, they're metacarpals, aren't they, in the hand, not metatarsals. That's the footballer's curse, isn't it? Metatarsal injury.
And also, there's no padding on the back of your hand. You've got nothing to protect it.
And whether she had a glove on that hand or not, I don't know. But it's given the Irish a bit of impetus, hasn't it? Because Parral is
steady,
very steady player, very solid player, covers a lot of ground.
Yeah.
I really do hope that she isn't badly injured and that she can come back on and be a factor in this game.
Yeah, I just hope she's not badly injured either, because that's not a way to finish the tournament. And if it, you know, the ball travelling really quickly can cause some damage. It can break small bones and wouldn't be very nice.
No, that's just as far as I know, it's the first sight in the tournament of the Spanish number 6, Leticia Hamas, and
she does look. Where is she?
Number 6, very small player
yeah,
over there.
She looks young, is what I was going to say.
She does look young.
And if she is, hopefully that means she's got no fear. Otherwise, it could be quite a daunting experience for her.
She's currently trying to mark Hayley Mulcahy, who's I think she's an Irish international, and she's a bit of a speed merchant. That's Katrina Tipping riding the tackle.
Well, we're into the last 10 minutes now, and I think Loreto had the first 10 minutes, but it's been fairly even since then, hasn't it?
It has.
But the Spanish have had the better clear opportunities.
Definitely. It's been a bit hit and hope, to be honest with you, from the Irish at times, hasn't it? Ali Meek tracking across with Celia, and Parral looks as though she's okay. She's coming for a sit down on the bench. She's turned down the ministrations of the doctor. We did have earlier on today the number 2 keeper for the Belarusian side, Smoleveci, took one right smack bang on the breastbone, and we did worry about her for a little while in that match against Royal Antwerp. The doctor did go on for a conversation, but wasn't needed for anything more seriously than that. And Begonia Garcia wasn't 5. She gets a 2-minute breather. She's a great player, but in terms of temperament, there's work to be done there, isn't there?
Well,
and maybe the Spanish coach needs to do that with her.
The Spanish coach is perhaps leading by example. His temperament also seems to have flared a little, and you know, that's in some ways that's the sort of the Latiny bit of the Spanish teams. Traditionally, a lot of the teams are like that, aren't they?
Yeah.
Passionate. What might be one word for it?
Lucia Jimenez making a good pass there, but teammates not anticipating that. And that's Hayley Mulcahy getting in behind Celia Sanchez Valverde. Meek trying to get through, and Lorenzo brings it away for Complutense. And that's the number 5, who's Maria Viton. She has Lorenzo with her, and it's a 1v1 against the keeper. It's on reverse. Can she do anything with it? She tries to get it back across to Viton, and it doesn't work. That was close, though.
That's been the difference between the two sides so far, that the Loreto play has been methodical and almost pedestrian in its build-up, but the Spanish have got that flair and that ability to just create an attack almost out of nothing. But you saw there the Loreto team were dispossessed. A lot of the team were down here defending. 2 quick players out ahead of them, and the Loreto team found it ever so difficult to get back. She should have taken the shot there, shouldn't she?
She should. If she had a reverse stick shot, I'm pretty sure she'd have taken it.
Well, she shaped, didn't she? Then got her feet round, and by then it was just a bit
and
too
here's
late.
Parral back on her feet. She's got a lot of strapping on that right hand, but she looks okay. She's happy to go back on. She told the manager she's all right, so I would expect to see young Llamas get the call.
I mean, you talked about the doctor. I just want to say that obviously the Leicester Hockey Club have done a fantastic job in making sure that all bases are covered in terms of volunteers and doctors and medical support.
Yeah, I mean, Michael, the doctor, has been great. He's not had a lot to do over 4 days. He's been very patient. I think he's quite glad he hasn't had a lot to do, but, you know, sitting around for a long time. So, it's a penalty corner, Joe.
Second penalty corner of the game so far.
And we know that Riera is dangerous. The last one, Healy saved it, span behind her. One of her players cleared it for her. She'll be well aware that Lola Riera is dangerous. Oh, she's saved that, but it's gone onto the legs of Sarah Clark, her defender, but it was going away from goal, so it's only another penalty corner.
I mean, the Spanish team there were hoping for a penalty stroke decision, weren't they?
Yeah.
But as you say, it wasn't clearly going to goal. If she'd have been the last defender and it had been going goalward, that would have been a penalty stroke.
Yeah, but it was definitely going away from goal. Right decision. And it's another of those that's played behind the attacking striker. I had a conversation with the Spanish coach about that disallowed goal yesterday, because we weren't sure whether it was the Riera slip almost behind herself that was what was pulled up, and just as was the case there, no, that wasn't it. It was that Paral had blocked the runner. That was close for Ali Meek, but again it is a bit sort of.
We did think the runner had been impeded, didn't we? But
yeah.
The great thing there was the keeper made a really good save, because when that same corner was executed yesterday, was high and into the left as we looked at it, whereas today it was low and to the right, and she showed great agility to get across and get a glove and a leg pad to the shot.
It's Kira Vincent trying to get round Pyrrhus, but failing to do so. That's Aisling Campion has conceded the free, and away comes Paral. She looks fine. She's being tracked by Neve Small. Nice skills again from Hannah Matthews. She's gone inside, gets a little rattle, two little rattles. The Spanish need to be careful about that. That's gone in from Matthews, it's gone up from the Spanish, and it's been given as having gone up outside the D rather than inside
well, the umpire
D.
didn't wait to see what happened there, did she? She decided that it was dangerous as it fell and gave it outside the circle.
Vuitton adjudged to have fouled. They go backwards. Sarah Clark goes backwards to McGurr. McGurr goes wide to Ali Meek. Meek goes for the cross. Blocked by Lucia Vicente Jimenez. Meek comes backwards and Clark misfields.
See, that's unfortunate, because at least it was something different. They were going to try and work the ball round, but having mistrapped it, it's lost 20 yards.
Yeah, and in the end they just kind of like launched that one forward, and they've put themselves on the back foot again now, haven't they?
Yeah,
Chance
they
for
have.
Complutense to come at them. 3 minutes, just over 3 minutes to go. Well, we've seen action at both ends, but the action this end, where Loreto are attacking, has been a little bit more hopeful, hasn't it?
Well, it's been in and around the circle, and obviously in hockey you can't score unless you're inside the D, inside the circle, and that's where they need to be trying to get more good ball. The ball they've been trying to put in so far has been a bit up in the air and a bit hit and miss, but unless they start making some incisive passes into the circle, they're not going to get any goal scoring opportunities.
Two younger players, Begonia Garcia and Lucia Jimenez, linking, but great play by Ali Meek in breaking that up. But she gave that away, but the umpire has deemed that to have been given away as a result of a foul.
Sometimes I think it's difficult for umpires to interpret what goes on, and they've got to call it as they see it.
Yes, definitely. And once again, that's just been nudged forward really by the Irish left defence. Here's the Begonia Garcia, and that's a foot from Sarah Clark, and the umpire waves play on. She doesn't think that was material. You can now have a little kick at the ball, but as long as the umpire doesn't think that you gained an advantage, then you're fine. I actually think she gained a bit of an advantage there.
Well, the umpire clearly saw it and clearly waved play on, so...
Yeah. Nobody was terribly near her.
No.
But,
and maybe it didn't change the ball or do anything to it to give them a distinct advantage.
And she clearly waved play on, so... Here's Neve Small. She tucks young Lamas up, and Riera strides out with the ball, launches it, and that's Vuitton on the ball. Vuitton looking for the run of Lorenzo. Lorenzo's in behind McGurr, and she gets it to Begonia Garcia, and that was great because Louisa Healy made the initial save, and then the follow-up really from Begonia Garcia was lacking in conviction. The first shot was good.
And a great save, agility, transferring her weight from her left foot to her right foot, getting across, blocking the ball, keeping it out. The keeper's done well, hasn't she, so far?
Yeah, done very, very well. Frustration for the Spanish coach again there. He thought Paral made a good tackle on Hannah Matthews, but the umpires didn't agree. Into the last minute, Joe.
It's livened up a bit, hasn't it?
Certainly has. Now, Cal Mulcahy get round the back here. The door is shut by the number 9, Spanish number 9, who is Sanchez Valverde, or Celia, as I prefer to call her. Roisin Ryan trying to get something out of this. And she gets the benefit of the doubt from the umpire. It's into the D. And the Spanish keeper clears that.
Oh, do you know, if you put the ball deliberately off the back line, it should be a penalty corner. Now, she came across with her left foot, kicked across her body and put that off the back line. I can see why the Loreto attack were asking there for a different decision.
Yeah.
Generous.
Champion on the ball.
Generous, I think.
And that's broken down. And the hooter goes for half-time. Wow. An eventful first half. No goals to show for it, but you would have to say that was a pretty eventful half.
Well, it started with the Loreto side definitely gaining the greater possession for the first 10 minutes. Then for 10 minutes we had sort of a bit of play in the middle of the park, but then as the game has progressed, we've seen much more incisive attacking from the Spanish team. Unlucky perhaps not to score, perhaps still 0-0 because Louise Healy in the Loreto goal has made some really cracking saves.
Louisa Healy has been the difference perhaps in the first half because the Spanish have created opportunities. I don't think there's been a clear-cut opportunity really created by Loreto.
No, not so far. They've had a bit of possession around the circle, but they're just not managing to get either behind the Spanish defence or get incisive ball into the circle to create scoring opportunities. It is more of a bit of a hit and hope in some occasions than any sort of purpose.
Yeah, and the Irish will be going down to the changing room, so they'll be having a conversation about that, how to crack this one. Trevor Dagg, the coach, senior players on the side will all have thoughts and opinions on this. The pitch is going to be watered, Joe. We've already experienced the joy of being saturated when that happens, so I think we perhaps ought to start thinking about taking some evasive action. So 0-0 at half-time, all to play for in the second half between Complutense of Madrid and Loreto of Dublin, and we'll catch up with you in about 10 minutes. Well, welcome back. Second half soon to get underway. We've got a visitor come all the way from England Hockey headquarters, Ian Wilson, Finance Director of England Hockey. Your impressions so far, Ian?
Fantastic. I've come here and I can see a lot of happy people, the sun's shining, and it seems to be a great event.
Well, yeah, we're very pleased with the way it's gone. Obviously, you've arrived in time to watch the bronze medal game, but interest too, I guess, in the gold medal match coming up at 5:30, and hopefully you'll be able to stop for that.
Absolutely. I mean, obviously, sometimes I'm biased, sometimes I'm not, but it's always great to see an English side in the final.
We've never done this kind of thing before. English sides don't often get to host European competitions. We're giving ourselves a few pats on the back. England Hockey's perspective on it?
It's not easy. It requires a lot of work from a lot of people to put these events on. So it's fantastic that Leicester, with the help of Loughborough University, have been able to put on such a great event.
And of course, at the moment, there's World Cup action going on over in The Hague, and otherwise, I'm pretty sure we would have seen the Chief Exec of England Hockey here giving us her support. Bit disappointing so far for the women, and well, potentially for the men too.
It's been a very tough event for the women so far. We're hoping that the men can win tonight, and it will put a completely different look on the tournament.
Well, Ian, thank you very much. Hope you enjoyed the second half of this and the final later, and hopefully watching Leicester go for gold.
I'm hoping so.
Thank you, Ian. Thanks, Ian Wilson from England Hockey. We're about to get underway again, and it's the Spanish who are starting off this time, laying the ball back at from the halfway line, and I'm going to go back and rejoin Joe Mould for second half commentary. Feisty first half, Joe.
Indeed, yeah, and the better of the chances to the Spanish team. They took a few knocks from a few lifted balls, from a few things they were very unhappy with.
A couple of injuries in there, weren't there?
But fortunately nothing too serious by the look of things. Both players who took one to a ball to the rib, one a ball to a hand, seem to be up and back at it. So be interested to see how this game unfolds. What happens if it's a draw at the end?
Penalty shuffles, I believe, straight into.
No extra time.
No extra time. And if anybody has not seen penalty shuffles before, they're rather exciting, aren't they?
They are rather exciting.
And we've got 60 people viewing online. Welcome all 60 of you. Thank you very much for tuning in to this bronze medal game. Hayley Mulcahy turns and looks appealingly, rather angrily at the umpire over on that far side. I think that's the English umpire, Joe Forrest, who is umpiring over there.
Yep, she's had a good tournament, and we haven't commented on her at all in the first half, but I think that's a sign of a good umpire.
No.
Just get on with what they need to do.
And we have commented on the other umpire, but purely because we're near the Spanish bench,
That's
and
right.
the Spanish bench has found fault.
Generally, in the last 4 days, all of the umpires have tried to let the game flow.
Yes.
They've tried to facilitate the level of the hockey, and they've done a good job.
Okay. Interesting, the interpretation around the aerial again. So the Spanish are pulled up. And Rachel Keegan on the ball. She's going back to Hannah Matthews. Hannah Matthews probably going to go, oh, she turns. I was thinking she was going to go across to Sarah Clark. She's gone wide now to Hayley Mulcahy. Ashlyn Campion can't do anything with that. Sarah Clark across to Sinead McGurr. Ali Meek, who's been influential throughout this tournament, cuts away through the middle, but is tackled by Lucia Jimenez, and here goes Begonia Garcia. Well dealt with by Sarah Clark. A couple of stick rattles over there.
That's where they look dangerous, though, isn't it? When they get the break, and when one of them perhaps breaks lines and manages to run with some pace at the Loreto defence in white.
Hannah Matthews has been very dependable all throughout this tournament. That's swept nicely down the touchline by Rachel Keegan. Out, good run out there by Hayley Mulcahy. She turns and she finds, no, the Spanish have regained possession. That's Jimenez. It's adjudged to have fouled there. So Rachel Keegan comes backwards. Hannah Matthews, again, the threat from Begonia Garcia. Double turn from Hannah Matthews, and forced into an error.
I think they've done their homework, haven't they? Because they know that the Irish team like to work the ball by transferring the ball across the pitch, hoping to move the press. And what they've done is they've not sat off, they've stepped up and they're putting the ball carrier under pressure. And I thought Hannah Matthews had done quite well there.
Yes,
but actually,
she did.
in the end, she gave the ball away because she had no options.
Good block by Hayley Mulcahy. And was Perez tackled there from a player not within 5, do you think?
Yeah, that's certainly what the Spanish coach is indicating.
Yeah. Spanish coach doing a lot of the ball boy work as well, ball girl. Hannah Matthews comes away. She finds Hayley Mulcahy. Hayley Mulcahy, and it's Spanish ball. Umpire has to give quite a loud. And the bottom of the Spanish player's shoe is coming off. So Pires has some real problems there. She's got a sole coming off her shoe.
Well, that'd be interesting because
I wonder if she's got any more
well,
shoes.
that's just what I was going to say. They might have a spare stick, might have a spare hand glove, perhaps even a spare gum shield, but a spare shoe.
That's weird.
Not sure, but the entire heel.
Yeah, the entire sole of the shoe
is
coming
leading
off.
the sole off the shoe.
And she's been in the wars. She's the one who had the rib problem. Another player with a similar size feet is offering a pair of shoes. And in the meantime, a good attack being led by Celia over there. And Spanish have pressure around the edge of the D.
Do you know, though, if she has to change her shoes, that could really unsettle her. Because
it could, especially if you've got one shoe of one sort and one shoe of another.
Because your shoes quite particular to you, aren't they? You know, they
certainly are.
According to your gait and how you
certainly
walk.
Are. She's off down to the changing rooms to try and get a replacement shoe. I don't know whether her the volunteer who's got the changing room key has gone with her. That's dramatic.
It is, yeah. That's something that you can't predict.
But one shoe was all right, wasn't it?
I think so, yeah.
So that was the sole survivor.
Oh, that's terrible.
Okay.
That's terrible. Is that the first pun so far?
That's the first pun of the day, yeah.
Well,
it's quite difficult when you're on your own to make puns to yourself, you know.
I'm sure you'd give it a good stab. So far, with this game gone, Loreto really haven't been in it, have they?
Not really, no. That's from Begonia Garcia into the D, and Ali Meek.
She watched that well, didn't she? And she showed some experience there, just to put it onto her foot, nothing silly. Can't afford to give the ball away there, just gained a free hit.
Well, she's an Irish international. You'd expect her to have the ability to deal with things. Paral plays it forward. Here's Garcia. She's trying to get Leeton on the go. Good running, and that's Gonzalez, the skipper. Who's she got to pull it back to? Nobody. She plays it right across the face of Louisa Healy's goal.
That's been one of the differences, though, isn't it? The Spanish seem to have players behind the last line of the Loreto defence, and they've got an option with a forward ball, whereas the Loreto team seem to have players in line with the ball carrier, but nothing ahead. They're not stretching the game.
So Sarah Clark on the ball. We did just briefly have a momentary discussion not so long ago about what happens if it's level at the end of the game, and we think it's straight to penalty shuffles, don't we?
I wasn't sure, you do, and I'm going to take your word for it.
Seems to be the way in which all of these European competitions are settled these days, not by strokes but by the 1v1. So from the 23-metre line, 8 seconds for the player to come and take on the goalkeeper.
The debate for me would be whether there was extra time before the penalty shuffles.
Yeah.
But there doesn't seem to be enough of a gap between games for that to happen.
I think not. I think it is straight into penalty shuffles. Mana Imana. Do you know what that means? No, neither do I.
If it is a draw, it would be an unusual result for this tournament, though, because in the preceding 12 pool games, there was only one draw, wasn't there?
There was.
And that was 3-3.
3-3, and Complutense were in that game. So that's come in, and the umpire has deemed that the stick that made that ball fly was a Spanish one. So not happy.
Didn't think so, did she?
She certainly didn't think so. And Sarah Clark wallops that ball off. That's a great piece of play by Jimenez. She's got Garcia ahead of her. Can she link up or can she strike herself? And Louisa Healy saves. It went high, but the umpire has deemed that it was not in any way dangerous. That's a good effort by Jimenez, wasn't it?
Well, it was a good shot, and what was also good was the forward running by the player ahead of her, who was
Garcia.
taking the attention of the other defender. But Louise Healy again in the Loreto goal, showing that she's matched so far everything that the Spanish have put at her.
That's Peral. As she fell, she played that ball. Is that why it was blown? Because she was on the deck when she played it? I thought you could do that these days.
Well, again, we've seen some umpires blow for playing the ball on the floor, and some umpires blow not. It's hard to know sometimes whether anything's happened in a close-up that we can't actually see from here.
And Viton plays it in. Garcia, she's got the skills. She links with Jimenez. Ooh. And that's short. Ooh, I thought that was a stick tackle.
The umpire's indicating that it hit a Spanish foot.
Meek being nice and controlled and composed over there.
It did look and sound like
it certainly did. Here's Clark. She's being chased by Jimenez. Roisin Ryan is caught in possession, but she's strong. And that's a good steal from Jimenez. Can she do anything with it? Looking for teammates. The Irish crowd around. Goodness me. There's this crowd as Dublin on a Saturday night there around young Jimenez. Neve, small, a lead from Roisin Ryan.
Jimenez, though, in this first 10 minutes has looked dangerous.
She is dangerous. I think we were pretty convinced of that yesterday, the way she was leading the line for her team.
But in the first half, she didn't quite turn it on in the way she's doing now. It's almost like she's put her foot on the pedal and decided that she's going to go.
She's coming off for a breather, and probably well deserved. Garcia now has to take some responsibility. It's a great ball up to Viton, but who's Viton got? Has she got anybody yet? She's beaten Clark. What can she do with this? She lays it back, and that was either taken off Garcia's or...
No, I think it was touched away, wasn't it?
And palmed away, and that's given. That is given.
Well, it's reminiscent of the goal you described earlier, wasn't it?
It was.
Good advantage by the umpire initially, and she, on the baseline, stick above her head. She played the ball down from the rebound.
Yeah.
Put it across the face of the goalkeeper, who had no chance.
No, it was a great goal, really.
Great goal, yeah.
Yeah, you can see why they've introduced this, because when it's done, it's blooming exciting, isn't it?
It's spectacular, yeah.
Yeah.
I think
so. The ball came. There was a shot. The ball came up off the keeper. It span out to the player on the left-hand side. I think that might have been Celia. So Celia Sanchez Valverde who scored. I'll ask the Spanish coach in a moment.
Number 13.
13. I need to look at my sheet. Was Cristina Lorenzo. Cristina Lorenzo batting that ball over her head. Fantastic goal. No wonder her teammates mobbed her.
Well, it's going to be tough now for Loreto.
It is.
The Spanish seem to have the bit between their teeth.
Certainly do. And in this heat as well, the Spanish will be a bit more used to the warm weather conditions than, Dublin not known for its tropical conditions, and it's hot this afternoon.
Well, to be fair, nor is Leicester, so it's a bit of a shock for all of us, but they've definitely been on the ascendancy. They finished the half strongly, They've started this strongly, and they look goal hungry now.
They do. And that was a good break and good attacking from Silvia Perez. That's come off somebody, and Lorenzo's there. And she's given us having lifted that into the defender, isn't she?
He's gone over the stick, it would have been fine, but lifted it into the body is what the umpire saw, I think.
So what a great goal.
Great goal. And it's livened the game up.
And it wasn't dangerous.
No,
really.
Well, that's hard to call, isn't it? If somebody was in the way of it would be pretty horrible and pretty nasty, but there was only the goalkeeper to beat, and of course the goalkeeper has all of that padding for exactly that reason.
So Lamas on the ball. There she goes. Number 4 trying to get there. And she's been very persistent there. Paula Martin. Lamas plays it back to Garcia.
Good tackle.
Great tackle from Sarah Clark, and a foul, and is going to be Garcia's going off now. She gets a 2-minute.
I think the umpire thought she was going to take it quickly, and then she stuck her stick in and slowed it down, didn't allow the player to take the ball early and get the quick.
And, you know, Begonia Garcia is a good little player, but her temperament is incredibly suspect, isn't it? And I just wonder how far she'll go in Spanish hockey if she spends significant points of a game sitting it out.
Yeah, but does that temperament correlate to her flair? That's a difficult thing, isn't it? If you try to work that temperament out for her, are you going to dumb her down as a player? And that's, I guess, what the coaching staff have to manage.
Yeah.
Maybe they know that's how it is and they just accept it.
Well, they certainly didn't seem to chide her or reprimand her in any way for being so daft, as I would put it. And as somebody who, when at their best, played with a slightly short fuse, I know where she's coming from. So, good pick up there from Sarah Loughlin. While there are only 10 players in opposition, they're looking to try to capitalise, but nothing comes of that.
Still not got the player back with a shoe, have we?
Yeah, she's out there. She's wearing 2 different coloured shoes. Pires.
Oh, I missed that in all the excitement of the goal.
Pires is out there. Here's, that's Lorenzo in front of us. At least I'm pretty sure she's out there. Having said that, I can't see her at the moment. So you might be absolutely right there, Joe.
It's probably unlikely. Now, interestingly, this right-hand corner, as we look at it, the Loreto team had lots of possession down there and didn't get any change at all from the Spanish defence. But Spanish attack seemed to be also liking that tactic of heading down there, but they're getting much more out of it, looking much more dangerous than Loreto did.
Yeah. You're right. Pires is off the pitch at the minute. She's the one who hurt her ribs, then lost the shoe. So, and that's a good spin and turn by Katrina Tipping. Desperate defence from Lola Riera, and that's got to be a penalty corner, hasn't it? Yeah, it is. It's a penalty corner. The Loreto fans go mad over there in the corner.
Well, that's great.
They're having a hoolie.
They need to get behind their team, and whenever it needs something like this to be a catalyst for their enthusiasm, and hopefully that will give them a bit of a boost, because when you are feeling tired and you are chasing a 1-goal deficit, you need something to motivate you to just do that extra bit of running.
Now the strike has been coming in from Sarah Clark, generally speaking, hasn't it?
It's their first corner today, though, isn't it?
She can hit it hard. So let's see what happens here. Spanish will be out fast, there's no doubt about that. And injection from Small, trap from Matthews, I think, or is that Tipping? Tipping, that was out too slow. But they've got another opportunity. No, they haven't. What's this? Trying to work out what's going on. No, it's another penalty
She's
corner.
sending the person who broke the line, the runner who's out too quickly, sending her to halfway.
So Paral broke the line. She's got to go up to halfway.
Rather than having to defend with 5 players behind the line, they're down to 4 players behind the line. This should be advantageous for an attacking team anyway.
Yes.
But obviously down to 4,
yeah,
it increases the chances.
It certainly does. Certainly does. And it's one of these situations where you wonder whether the straight strike is the best solution. And it's saved. Comes out. And it's a great block there by Jimenez, who's getting lots of praise from her coach and her bench.
Just took a bit too long to strike it. I thought she was just going to get underneath it, bend her knees and try and flick it or push it at goal. But that strike allowed the player to get across, make a good block and send it off the back line.
See, from a coaching perspective, I would say that as soon as the defensive lineup behind that line goes down to 3 outfield players, the more you can move the ball around, the more likely you are to score. The straight shot is not really
nothing changes
the
really
best
with the
option.
straight shot,
It's
particularly
exactly the same.
when it's a straight shot straight down the keeper's middle, which is what that was.
Yeah, you know, far be it from me to tell Trevor Dagg how to coach a side, because he's a good coach, but I think that required some thinking.
Well, we don't know who's calling the corners, do we? Dave Mayer said to us yesterday in the Leicester game, he made the decision that the girls could call their own corners.
Yeah.
And it could be the same case here, and they had the first corner, didn't get to play it, and maybe they just kept with the game plan.
It's a long ball down, and Viton has got on the end of that. She launches it in, behind Lorenzo's run.
Ooh, that was, she left that looked a bit too close to comfort for me. Very calm in leaving that go past.
Yeah, and the Irish seem quite rattled now, do you think, Joe?
Well, I just think the pressure's increasing on them, isn't it? They've now only got 16 minutes to score an equaliser. And really, to get that, to be assured of that bronze medal, they need to score twice.
Yeah.
And the Spanish have taken their game.
Yeah. To be fair to the Loreto crowd, they're singing away over there, trying to raise the spirits of their team. Now Matthews has really got to lift her team now, hasn't she?
Yeah.
Sarah Clark goes through the middle to Tipping.
Which is good.
She's faced by Peral.
That was unusual.
Peral.
That's not what the Spanish were expecting.
No. Peral fouls. And that's in behind. And Sarah Loughlin that was, wasn't it? She couldn't get on the end. What's that all about?
Well, the umpires decided that the Spanish girl took to her knees, I think, and
Yeah.
helped her getting through. An opportunity, so it gives them.
Yeah, was that Riera?
On her knees.
I think that was Riera. Gonzalez is asking for an explanation from Joe Forrest over there.
Well, Jo Forrest made the decision. She was clearly sure of what she'd seen, and then she crossed her arms in front of her as if to say, "No more, don't do that again."
Yeah.
You know, that's not what we're after. So
Yeah.
she was no doubt in her mind.
If she thought it was that serious a foul, maybe on the naughty seat would have also been useful. However, injection from Hannah Matthews. And they're out fast again, too fast again. I don't know whether anybody is being penalised this time or whether it's a general thing. No, nobody this time. So
I thought with her disengaged arm she was reaching for a pocket, but
no. So they don't break the line this time. It goes wider. Oh, and whether that was deliberate or whether that was just the break of the ball, it's ended up in the back of the net.
But Trevor Dagg was clearly listening to you, because they moved the ball left, then put it back onto the far right post for the deflection in, just above backboard height.
I think that was Hayley Mulcahy, wasn't it, number 16?
And equalised the score.
Equalised the score, and we are 14 minutes away from penalty shuffles. This is Riera.
I think there's a lot more in this game, though.
I think
before we
there
get
is.
to that point.
Good challenge by Peral. She's looking for the run. That's a great block. Ryan back to Campion, across to Meek, back to McGurr. The Irish might just keep the ball for a little while, pull the Spanish team around a little. Here's Sarah Clark, tracked by Viton. She goes back. Gonzalez is chasing Matthews down, and Gonzalez makes the half block. Meek tidies up.
Well, the Spanish look to be stepping off. To step up, I think Viton did, and nearly.
Yep.
Dangerous possession.
But it's the Irish on the ball, and in a touch of international confusion, it's the Irish team that's singing "Ole, Ole."
It's a good song. Maybe it's intended to wind up the Spanish team and frustrate them further.
Yes, perhaps it's the Matador and the Bull, Joe. Or perhaps I'm just full of bull. And it's being tidied up by Celia Sanchez Valverde. She's been fouled. And the umpire is just saying, calma, calm things down, please, people.
Well, it's the second time in quick succession that she's sort of blown a whistle and indicated that, so...
Meek on the ball.
I wonder whether, if we see anything further, there might be a few more cards.
It's a long ball launched. Here goes Viton, but it's off the sideline, and Gonzalez is on the ball. She's got Jimenez ahead of her. Jimenez a tricky player, but she's being tracked by Campion. In behind Campion. It's a spin on here. Campion defends that really well. Sounded like a stick tap, but Campion does well enough. And away it comes with McGurr.
Good quick restart.
Oh, and Kathy McKean cannot get on the end of that, which is a shame.
I was just thinking, actually, Jo Forrest is the umpire over there we've been talking about, who's asking for things to be calmed down. Good that she's got the bronze medal game.
Yeah.
Obviously couldn't get the, I don't
Gold
think,
medal
couldn't get
game,
the gold
no.
medal game because an English side, the home side Leicester, are in there. So it's good for her to be involved in a medal match.
Yeah, because she's quite young, I think, still.
Yeah.
Early 20s, mid-20s.
I think she might be on the development programme, possibly.
Spanish coach doesn't like that one, but it's gone against his team. I know it's gone for his team, sorry. He's not happy at what's happening over there in that corner. And the Irish have got it, but good retrieving by Paral there. It's picked up by Meek. She has Campion and McGurr going outside her. The Irish have been a little less formulaic in this half, and it's paying off for them, isn't it? I think they're having to, though, because their usual lines are being picked up by the Spanish team, Jo.
Yeah, they're having to
They're having to play with a bit more flair, aren't they?
make it up as they go along to some extent,
Yeah.
and look for the gaps, which is good, but they are being blocked off. The Spanish are looking for them to move the ball around the back, and they're putting pressure on. For me, the Spanish are still in a situation where they're really putting in the legwork, because I don't want to generalise, but these sort of Latiny type teams don't often work as hard as some of the others when things aren't going their way. But so far,
You're generalising now.
that's what I said. I don't want to generalise particularly, but so far, these have worked really hard all game, haven't they?
They have.
Whereas yesterday we saw peaks and troughs
Yeah,
in terms of work rate.
yeah. Yeah, it'd be interesting if you could see the stats on some of these young ladies running. I think some of the players are putting in tremendous amounts of running, including this one, Lucia Jimenez. She plays a long ball down there, trying to find Vuitton.
It was a good ball.
It was a good ball, but Vuitton started to run a little late. But it's still a good position to be in up there in that top right corner. And with the kind of press they're putting on at the minute, they could still get something out of this.
You can see there, the head goes down and they've got to really dig in to chase that ball down.
Here goes Matthews. That's a nice run down the line. And that's just behind the dugouts. We can't quite see what happened there. But it's obvious the Irish are still on the attack. And Tipping trying to go through there. And the ball has gone into the net. But
That was unfortunate because she had really
already
tried
blown.
to play the advantage
already blown, yeah.
several times, but she just blew a little bit early, thinking that the player wouldn't be able to muscle her way through.
It's definitely a bit of a shoulder barge there.
Yeah.
Did you see it?
Yeah, but she got through, didn't she? And the goalkeeper might have saved that if the whistle hadn't gone. We just don't know.
Triple move from the Irish, and Niamh Strong is caught in possession. And here comes Begonia Garcia.
Thing is,
She's told she's got to take that ball back.
that triple movement, the Spanish didn't move. They were too savvy. They just held their position.
Okay, Jo, you take over for a little while, please, because my batteries need changing.
Well, just 8 minutes to go now. Quite a lot of the action is taking place in the middle of the pitch, and that's really draining for the legs of both teams. Loreto, the team from Dublin, in the white shirts, and the Spanish team, Complutense, in red, on the attack. Good to see Loreto still working forwards down the right-hand side again. Wasn't so successful for them in the first half. Again, didn't prove to be. High hit into the circle, deemed to be dangerous by Jo Forrest, the English umpire.
Have I missed much? As my batteries were being changed?
Well, they had an attack, but they did the same as before. They put the ball across, but it was high and deemed to be dangerous.
So, ball from Riera. McGurr allowed to field it. She's on it. Vamos, says the Spanish coach. He wants his players to put the legwork in, put the yards in. 7 minutes to go, Jo. See either of these teams scoring in the last 7?
Well, yeah, either. at the way it's going at the minute. I think my money would be on Spanish.
Yeah.
But the last 5 minutes or so, Loreto have looked quite
They
dangerous.
certainly have. They certainly have. And that's gone the Loreto way. So Sarah Clark and Riera steps up really, really well there.
Just might come.
Lorenzo played rather hopefully. And here goes Lucia Jimenez. She's got Garcia ahead of her and Katrina Tipping. I think she knew what she was doing there.
Yeah.
Messing that up.
I think so.
Slowing it down.
That's experience.
Yeah.
The final result might come down to who makes the fewest errors
Yeah.
and who's got the best athletes on the team.
That's flown off Hannah Matthews' stick and high, but it's only a long corner.
Only though, the Spanish are have been trying to work their stuff from that area of the pitch, haven't they? So we might see it as an only, but they might see it as an opportunity. Ooh, again, the ball's
Long
put off the
corner
back
again.
line. Spanish coaches arguing that perhaps it was deliberate.
Indeed.
That's a tough call for the umpire, though.
Yeah. But the Irish bring it away. The Spanish are missing Paral in midfield at the minute. She's off injured. Oh, it's a bit of cramp or what. But so Jimenez takes on Roisin Ryan and she beats her. And then she's into the D and that's gone against her. That's gone against Jimenez. She's on the deck.
She's been a real bright spark in this half, Jimenez.
She has.
She's caused problems for Loreto defence.
Yeah.
And she's worked hard because she's not just standing around the top 23 waiting for the ball to come to her. She's been working back. She's been bringing the ball out of their defence. She's worked really well.
Yeah, that's a great ball up to Kathy McKean. She holds it, but she's tackled. And Lorenzo comes back for it, but gives it straight to Ali Meek. Ali Meek, a neat piece of skill. Inside to Katrina Tipping. Got an opportunity here. And it's into the D. And Clamas brings it away. And the Spanish survive that one. That was good attacking by the Irish.
It was actually, and some people might argue that there was a stick tackle in there, but Joe Forrest well placed.
Well, Hayley Mulcahy is tackled by Pires, the young lady who lost her shoe, or lost the sole of the shoe. Here goes Begonia Garcia. Okay, Gonzalez down the line. She's looking for Lorenzo, doesn't get Lorenzo. So,
4.5 minutes.
4.5 minutes before the potential drama of penalty shuffles. And a diving Celia keeps that away. Celia Sanchez Valverde. Neve Small makes the run. And she's marked by Ramas.
You know when you're at school you say next goal's the winner? I think it might be next goal's the winner.
I think next goal would be the winner, frankly. And yeah, Riera goes across. That's off her leg, I think. So Meek is on the ball. Do you think either of these teams would actually fancy shuffles?
No, I don't think so. Sometimes it can be a lottery, can't it? And the Loreto goalkeeper Louise Healy's played really well so far. It would be unjust in many ways if the Spanish were to win on penalty shuffles.
Hannah Matthews deals with that ball well.
I'd rather see a goal in open play.
But with only 3 minutes to go, it looks increasingly likely that it could go to shuffles. And it's a good piece of play by number 23 for the Spanish side. That's Silvia Paredes.
Some diving to try and stop this ball.
And certainly think this is probably going to get launched high by Riera, but Neve Small is putting. That's a great ball. It's well dealt with by Sarah Clark back there. Roisin Ryan comes. She finds Aisling Campion.
Which was too heavy there, wasn't it?
It
Otherwise
was.
she was in.
Yeah, without a doubt. Okay, Clark goes across, looking for Sinead McGurr and finding Sinead McGurr. That was a good searching ball. 2.5 minutes. Try and find a bronze medal winner here. In open play. Neve Small. That's well done by Celia Sanchez Valverde.
Be a goal.
Skills.
And I want a goal. I want to be a moment of brilliance
Yeah.
rather than an error. This is the Irish crowd there just telling Loreto 2 minutes to go.
Yeah. And Riera caught there by Small. Small doing well to put Riera under pressure. Jimenez looking for Lorenzo, but Clark is solid. And here's Hayley Mulcahy. Less than 2 minutes to go. Jimenez is back there. Yeah, she's got the free. She's got the free for the Spanish team. The coach isn't happy with that, even though his team has got the ball. I think he wanted her to be able to bring that out. So, 1 minute, 20 seconds. Bit messy over there. It's gone the Spanish way.
You know, in the context of the tournament, though, it's another game that hasn't disappointed. There've been a few games where the hockey's not been top-notch and it's not been exciting for a neutral. I'm sure if you're Spanish or Irish, your fingernails are bitten down to the quick, but for a neutral, another exciting game in this Euro Champions Trophy.
Yeah, we're under a minute now, and it looks increasingly as if this is going to penalty shuffles, whatever they're called. I don't understand why they're called penalty shuffles. Nobody shuffles, do they?
Sometimes.
Oh, and nearly a pick-up by Begonia Garcia, which would have seen her advance on goal. The Irish won't want to make a mistake now with just 30 seconds on the clock. Do you think they're going to play for time, Joe, or do you think they're going to try and launch one?
I think they're going to hope not to give the ball away.
Oh, but they have. 18 seconds. Here's Garcia. Well marshalled by Hannah Matthews. And that could have been a penalty.
That's what they'll be looking for, won't they?
They certainly will.
They're looking for a penalty corner to perhaps.
Oh, they've gone back a long way.
No, they're out of time, aren't they, surely?
Pires is there, and the hooter goes. We have penalty shuffles.
Well, do you know, the difficult thing about this is, without being too partisan, is this is going to take up pitch time for the final warm-up time, because the finals used to start in 35 minutes.
It is.
So whether they'll delay that, I don't know.
I suspect they might. Yeah. Do you think the Spanish will have 5 fit players for their penalty shuffle routine? I'd have thought Paral might have been one that would have taken one.
She still might.
She still might,
Still might. I mean, the key thing is they've got these 8 seconds to get themselves into the circle to take some sort of shot. And they've got several options, haven't they? They can try and get in, wrong foot the goalkeeper from the top of the D and then put in a shot, or they can take it a bit closer and try and beat the goalie in a one-on-one situation.
Yeah.
But they can't afford to let time run out.
No.
And they've got to really put a shot on goal.
And a real test for both goalkeepers here. The umpires will decide which end the penalty shuffles will take place with the technical team, whether they'll take place in front of the stand or whether they'll take place at the far end. One end the goalkeeper's going to have sun in their eyes, the other end the players will have sun in their eyes. If you're a player now, would you be wanting to take one of these?
I think it's perhaps when I was captain of the club, I would feel it was my responsibility to take one, and you've got to stand up and be counted, but I think there would have been a lot of people who should have been up there before me.
Yeah.
You need players who are quick, skillful, and have a nose for goal or an eye for goal, and there'll be a lot of people in the Spanish team that have got that. I think if you had to pin your flag to the mast, probably my money would be on the Spanish.
Really?
Louise Healy has played. Louisa Healy, sorry, apologies. Healy in the Loreto goal has been very good, and she's been much more active and needs to be much more active in this game than her Spanish counterpart.
Yes, Arias has not been called upon to do much.
So do you disagree? Would you be going for the Irish?
I really don't know. I just think some of the Irish players, a little older, a little bit more savvy. I think Meek will take one. I would think Matthews will take one. I think Small will take one. I would probably, if I was coach, Clark to take one. Maybe Hayley Mulcahy
the thing
take
is,
the other.
You say there is, if you'd ask them to take one. If they want to take it, that's not great. You need people to stand up and say, do you know what, coach, I'll take this penalty shuffle. But
it's a different cast list to the one that I would have predicted. So McCarthy is out there, Matthew is out there, Meek is out there, no sign of Small. Kiera Vincent is there, Katrina Tipping is there. No, Small's now going over.
It's one of those situations, isn't
I'm
it,
just
where-
guessing, really, to be honest with
Well,
you.
they're all out there, where the goalkeeper will be trying to force the player onto their strong side,
Yeah.
and the attacker has a decision to make. Do they decide already how they're going to do it and do it regardless, or do they wait to see what the goalkeeper does and become reactive rather than proactive?
Yeah.
You were forward.
Yeah. I would have enjoyed it, I think, but
What would you have done?
what would I have done?
Yeah.
I'd have gone round the keeper. I wouldn't have taken an early shot because my shot was so terrible. But yeah, I think I'd try and draw the keeper, maybe take the keeper one way, get her to put a body weight over onto the other side, come back. Of course, now when I've got a little bit too much body weight myself, that perhaps wouldn't be a good idea. But yeah, so it's going to be really interesting and hopefully very exciting for the crowd. I just hope everybody in the crowd knows what's happening. This is the kind of moment where I wish I was on the announcing desk and could explain to people.
Well,
what
I
this-
don't know, because you sometimes, because we're waiting for the Leicester game, or a lot of the spectators here look to be dressed in orange, they've come early to see the end of this game, so possibly an educated, knowledgeable crowd. If they don't, there's enough people up there who can say this is what's happening. But for anybody who's just tuned in or doesn't watch hockey very often, we used to have a situation where we had 5 penalty strokes
Yeah.
like in football.
And they still have the penalty stroke in the game,
In the
don't
game,
they?
yeah, but they used to have the ball on the spot, and you used to have to flick it up, push it goalwards, and the goalkeeper needs to make a save. Here, we are looking for somebody to have. Definitely is penalty shuffles, isn't it? I'm taking your word for this.
Well,
Completely.
look where the ball is.
Yeah, okay. The ball starts in the middle of the 23-yard line, centre of the goal. They've got 8 seconds to try and beat the keeper, put the ball in the goal. Is it dead when the goalkeeper plays the ball out, or does the
No.
8 seconds play out?
They play out the 8 seconds. If the keeper makes a save, both players should carry on. But if it leaves the 5, I think if it leaves the 5-metre dotted line, it's over. Of course, if it goes over the back line, it's over. Goes into the goal, it's over.
I don't know. This is hard for the players who are taking these
certainly
penalty
is.
shuffles, but it's also hard for people watching. You've run your socks off for 4 games, 4
Yep.
lots of 70 minutes, and your bronze medal comes down to this. And a bit like penalties, it can be lottery, can't it?
Yeah. Now, I was just shown a piece of paper that said how many viewers we had got at this point in time, and I've forgotten already. But it was
78.
70-something, wasn't
78.
it? 78 people are with us at this point in time. I hope all 78 of you stay with this competition, and then that you watch the gold medal game between Leicester and Ismailovo later. But here we go. There's a toss to determine who goes first. Would you go first? If you were the captain, would you go first?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Put the pressure on. The team.
Yeah. So Gonzalez is there. Hannah Matthews is there. Technical team are out there. Linda Trahan out there, just trying to make sure that all is well. Yeah. So they're having a discussion, and we'll soon see who gets what. There's a handshake. It's been a feisty game, but there's a handshake. That's good.
Yeah, well, that's generally the nature of hockey, isn't it? It can be feisty and a bit physical on the pitch, but actually it doesn't tend to last after the game is over.
No. At the moment, we're being blocked off viewing by the Spanish team, who are being encouraged to just move away a little bit. So I think we'll know whether the ball's in the back of the net, won't we? But apart from that, I think from where we are, it's going to be quite tricky to get a full view of what goes on. Out comes the keeper, Louisa Healy, defending this first one, and she's done very well. And the hooter goes. And that was Lola Riera taking the first one for the Spanish, who I think I might have put a few euros on. For
Well,
that one.
Louisa Healy was very quickly off her line there. She was very proactive, and basically she kept on her toes, didn't allow her to go one side or another with any major purpose, and basically kept her out. And all we've got to do is run the clock down.
Watch the very end as Linda Trahan is coming over here now. There's some issue. Okay. A whistle start.
Not the
So,
hooter.
not the hooter to start.
That's
whistle
why
to start.
maybe the goalkeeper looked like she was off her line very quickly then, but that was probably because she was playing for the whistle. So they should have started with the whistle, shouldn't they, and finish it with the hooter?
Yeah.
That would make more sense.
So this is Neve Small up against the Spanish keeper. She's got her down, and she misses.
Well, she took that ball wide. She forced the keeper to ground, tried to lift it over her, tried to do all the right things, but the keeper had pushed her wide enough that in the end her shot could only hit the side netting.
Yeah. So coming up now, it's number 9. That's Celia Sanchez Valverde.
Level pegging, taken
She's a
one
skillful
each.
player.
No score yet.
Louisa Healy out again, very, very fast. And can she finish there? She can. So a bit of a kamikaze approach maybe from Louisa Healy there, and the Spanish player kept her cool and did what was required of her.
Well, it had worked well the first time, hadn't it? But I think actually it was the drag across. It was just too good. Caught her wrong-footed and managed to still get in and strike the ball.
Here goes Ali Meek. Ali Meek up against Arias. And that's well dealt with by the Spanish keeper. Ali Meek left it behind her. She still could have gone back for it, but the Spanish keeper read the situation well, Arias, and dealt with it.
Well, Ali Meek's not happy with something. She's had a word with both umpires now. I'm not quite sure what's happened, but again, it was predictable. She did exactly the same as her teammate had done previously. Took the ball to the goalkeeper's left-hand side, just got her down the floor, took her too wide, couldn't do anything about it. It was tame in the end, unfortunately.
So here we go. Here's the next one. This is Lucia Jimenez out against Louisa Healy, and finishes with a fantastic backhand shot. Well done, Lulu.
Keeper did really well. Took her onto her reverse stick side, her ideally non-preferred side, but she showed that she was more than a match to it. Not only did she make the reverse stick shot, but it was high enough to beat the logged keeper.
So that's 2-0 to the Spanish. If the Irish miss this, can they stay in the competition? And it's Kira Vincent. And that was simple. She kept it really simple, and she was well within the time. Slid it underneath Arias's body, so this game is still very live. And it's the temperamental but talented Begonia Garcia who's going out there now. Her teammates are hoping that she can do it. Louisa Healy meets her, and she puts it wide. Louisa Healy did well there.
Well, she just did what she's been doing for all of them. She came out quickly, put the player under pressure, and if you're a youngster, this is a terribly pressured situation.
Yeah. I think she's 19 years of age, so not quite a youngster, but okay. That's neatly done. Hayley Mulcahy shown quite a bit of skill in the game, 2 apiece.
After 4.
So it could all be on this final shuffle each. Otherwise, we go to sudden death.
I don't think I can take it.
I'm sure you can.
Too old for this excitement.
And is this Vuitton? Can't quite see from where I am. Is it number 5, Joe?
Possibly. Yeah, I think so.
Here she goes. And Healy comes out to meet her. Healy's down. Oh, and Healy gets a great touch to that. And that glove from Healy might just have won her team the bronze medal.
Well, don't talk too soon, because it's still level at the minute, but she was already logged, and she showed great core strength then to basically jump like a salmon and
leap
just
like a salmon.
Just touch the ball wide.
Hannah Matthews. Chance for glory for Loreto. And she does it! She does it. There were 2 seconds still on the clock. The Irish girls from Loreto rush towards their captain. There's an Irish jig being danced there, and the Spanish, it's just not been their day.
Well, I was wrong. I said at the start my money was on the Spanish team, but all credit to Louisa Healy in the Loreto goal, and also to those players who kept their nerve. They were at one point 2-0 down.
Yeah.
2-0 down. They came back to 2-1 in the penalty shuffles, and they snatched it with their last 3 shuffles, scoring all of them.
Yeah, and Trevor Dagg coming across to commiserate with and shake hands with the Spanish team. There are some tears. And I think, without being hard on Loreto, I think the better team lost there across the course of the match.
I think if we're truly honest, they did, but that's one of the things that's so exciting about sport. It's unpredictable, and the Spanish didn't take their chances. And credit must be given to the goalkeeper in the Loreto end, because she was outstanding all game.
Indeed. And taking a form line from that, Complutense were in Leicester's group. Loreto were in Ishmailovo's group. Let's hope that doesn't bode ill for Leicester. The way the games have gone so far, game 1 was won by a team from a team from Leicester's group. Game 2 was won by the team from Ishmailovo's group. This game has been won by a team from Ishmailovo's group.
So Leicester are going to break the duck.
So yeah. No, the first game was won by a team from Leicester's group, Royal Antwerp.
Oh yeah, that was
so, just to get a bit of parity across here. No shame on Arias. Arias did well, and she's being consoled by Celia Sanchez Valverde.
No shame on the Spanish at all. That could have gone either way so easily.
Certainly.
If Louisa Healy hadn't made that leaping save, it would have been different again.
Yeah.
But I think the Spanish team from Madrid, Complutense, they provided some great entertainment over the course of the tournament.
Indeed.
They've scored some fantastic goals.
Yeah.
They've shown great flair and variety.
Yeah.
Definitely
have. Yeah.
Unfortunately for them, they're not on the winning side on this occasion.
And a couple of players who've lit up this tournament. Lola Riera has been very good. Lulu Jimenez has been very good. The youngster Begonia Garcia, although as I say, a little bit like the blue touch paper retire at times. She's good. Yeah,
Pires has been solid for them.
Certainly has. And although the Irish were perhaps shaded in the course of the game, and at 2-0 down in the penalty shuffles, I think we were thinking it was a Spanish win.
They kept their nerve.
That isn't what happened.
They kept their nerve, and that's what you need. You need people to show strong character. And Hannah Matthews taking the
final
last penalty shuffle. She has been fantastic throughout. She's led by example. She's been great at holding the back line. She's also been great at going forward, and deservedly so. She was the hero of the Loreto team.
Yeah. And certainly the best player in her side, and she stepped up to the mark then for that game. So, bronze medals go to Loreto of Dublin, and commiserations to Complutense of Spain. I would think they're going to be watering this pitch.
They are.
The Leicester game should be starting at 5:30. There's obviously a bit of a delay now. Whether it will have been pushed back by 5 minutes or so, I don't know. But we'll be back with you in 10-15 minutes or so to preview the game, and then obviously to bring you coverage of that match. Thank you for listening to the bronze medal game, and we'll speak to you soon.